think so. but you know, the bottom line is nothing's going to make George feel better. But I can't make a decision for Carl Froch. That is a really tough fight he's had tonight. You'll see him in a minute. You know, they're both, you know, battle worn. And Carl Froch is 36 years old. You know,
Carl
George Jones is
Carl
25.
did offer the rematch.
Yeah,
I apologise for interrupting you. Carl did say, Eddie, let's do the rematch. So I do believe that he has. He's a man of his word. He deserves the respect he got. He didn't do nothing wrong in there tonight. He acted just like a fighter and a warrior that we knew he was. But now let's see if he can act like a gentleman and back that up. He's made the offer. It should be his choice to accept it now, not his offer, not his chance to renege on it. He's made the offer. He did make the offer publicly. It would be nice now to see it respected.
Eddie, you've known Howard Foster for years, though. I mean, you described the ending as controversial. In all honesty, what did you make of it?
I'm a straight shooter. Where I was sitting, it didn't look like a bad decision. When I watched it back on tape, after we had the conversation in the ring, it did look too early. From where I was sitting, it looked like George was out on his feet, and when he let him go, he fell back on the ropes. Yeah. When I watched it back on the tape, it did look like he was hurt, but he did fall more into Howard Foster, and then fell back on the ropes.
You can think
it's a world title fight, so I can understand the public and everybody's opinion. George doesn't want to. If George is going to lose the fight, he doesn't want to lose like that. If he wants to get stopped, they're fighters. They have this mentality of they'd rather be carried out of the ring. You know, I mean, this
but
is
there's
the
a 10 count, guys.
But
there's a 10 count. You count to 10. You understand that it's a right standing 8. But and as far as I know, that standing 8 is mandatory. Now we're going back to looking at the rules meetings. Whereas if that standing 8 is mandatory, and the referee is the police of a fight, then he broke the law. And if he broke the law, something needs to be done about it. And again, I please want you to get this right. I'm not disrespecting Mr. Froch or his team, but if the standing 8 count is a mandatory count, I ain't too educated, but that means he's supposed to give it. All he has to do is think one, even if he knows in his head, I'm going to stop it. 2, 3. Look at Neville Brown years ago. Out on his back. 9, springs up. Regains his, or keeps his British title. It's a title fight. It is not a training experience. It's a world title fight. If he thinks he's gone, jump in, count, use the experience you have as a referee. Experience is no good if you don't use it. Experience is no good if you get emotionally attached to 20,000 people and jump in on top of a man. That's not experience. That's inexperience. You're supposed to use your experience.
The ref wouldn't do that though, would he? You know, if Howard's thinking your man's got to do that split second.
Then he jumps in and counts to 8.
No, he doesn't. No. If he's held up by the ropes, it's his decision to make an 8 count.
Well,
you know, listen.
He put his hands around him. He put his hands around him.
He jumped in and made a very quick decision.
No one's disputing here that the referee was premature to stop this fight, I don't think. And that
but I would like to know, my thing is, why? That's my thing. It's here's look. He wasn't in this fight to win the fight tonight and retire. So that's what it's not. He's in the middle of a career that we've won for a long time. So overall, with a man like that there, this hasn't damaged him. Like he said, it's made him a superstar. He won't take his eye off the ball for even a split second in the future. But what I hope this will also do is let you guys know what you're dealing with the next time, so this doesn't happen again. Because if all of you guys talk about what you know he is now, it'll have the same effect on the sheep. They'll understand and they'll listen to you.
George, do you think you showed tonight that perhaps, you know, Carl at 36, you know, your hand speed, your superior hand speed was self-evident from the very beginning. Do you think it showed that Father Time is catching up with him tonight and the younger challengers are there and he should think about his future rather than a rematch?
I'm going to say this as humbly as possible. I believe I am a great fighter. It doesn't matter if I box Carl Froch at 25, 30, 35, 40, I would beat him. Tonight, I beat him for hand speed, I beat him for a lot of other things as well. I don't think maybe his age didn't help him. I'd have beaten him if I'd boxed him 4 years, because he was 4 years younger. He's a tough man. I knew that. You know, we knew that. Paddy told me from the start. I boxed tough men. I boxed Glenn Johnson. I hit him. Thought he was gone. Carried on hitting him. Thought he was gone still. Nothing. So tonight, Carl Froch is laying on his back, looking at me in the first round, and I think, this job ain't over yet. I don't need to go wading in on this guy. Let him keep making mistakes and I'll keep buzzing him. And that's what I did, round after round. And I knew each round that I beat him, he was going to get more and more reckless. And that's what he was in the 9th round. He was reckless. He come diving in with stiff arm shots that if they land, they could buzz you. If they don't land and they scuff you or they can knock you off balance, I haven't had a chance to look at it back. I just know how I felt inside. You know, I've been a victim, as Paddy said earlier, the Paul Smith fight. People will hang their hat on it and say, yeah, he got chipped at the end of the last round, at the end of the first round. But feet are under me. I look angry, sit straight down, I'm fine. Tonight, I knew I was fine. I had 3.5, 4 rounds left, if need be, to just carry on controlling and dominating Carl Froch, and then I'll be sitting here with 2 new belts. But things ain't really gone my way lately, and you know, I got a cool little team that we work together well, and we're not fussed if we have to take on everyone else.
George, congratulations on a fantastic performance, if I may say that. I think you deserve to hear that. And where do you think now that puts you in contention with the rest of the super middleweights in the world? How do you see that pecking order?
Carl beforehand this fight said that it's come too early for me, and a lot of other people said it as well. Do I belong at this level? I think I answered that question tonight. I think I certainly belong at this level. Could name any fighter in the world and say this is your next opponent. I'll take it with open arms. I'll fight anyone. I know I'm ready to fight anyone.
We see the stranger in the Guardian tonight,
You tell me.
Well, maybe morally.
No, but honestly, you tell me, because give me
I've
your...
asked George a question. I'd like him to answer.
I know you have, but he's going to let me interrupt. I think he will. And he can give me that out of me. I understand, and yeah, I know you will, but I'm asking you guys, what do you think?
Well, I'll answer that after George.
Okay, you make sure you do them, brother.
I think, yeah. Do you agree, Pat?
I do, yeah.
You do, great. Now, in your opinion, who was winning the fight?
3 rounds ahead.
3 rounds ahead, 3 rounds ahead? You're still very quiet. Are you
missing
upset
the
with
point
me
of what the
because I
press
said what
conference
you're
is.
reporting?
You're missing the point that the press conference is for us to get the opinion of the fighter.
Excuse me,
to
brother.
report it.
The press conference, in your opinion, might be that. But if he wants me to give mine, this is the man now at the moment that you're all listening to.
Yeah,
And
but
if
you're
I'm
puzzled.
I'll tell you what,
You
if
seem
I'm
puzzled while we're asking George questions.
I'm not puzzled at all. You don't have to be the hero to jump in here and start correcting me, brother. I've kept my mouth shut for 9 weeks and was very respectful. I'm giving my opinion on something that happened to my fighter in a world title fight. So now you as well can show some respect, brother. Thank
No,
you.
what it is, buddy, you're asking us questions.
I know there's no problem
We're
in that.
neutral, so
There's no problem in me
our
asking
opinion doesn't
questions.
matter. We just want to ask you questions.
That's no problem.
We're happy to hear from you.
Cool, no problem, brother. I
Doesn't
know.
matter how we speak.
I understand.
Eddie, there was some suggestion beforehand that the Ben Eubank comparisons were slightly wider than mark. Do you think that height was vindicated tonight?
Listen, I'm sure it did huge numbers in the box office. You know, the crowd loved the fight. I'm sure it'll happen again. I mean, I know that doesn't, you know, I just said to you in the change room, I know he'll get another chance. That doesn't make him feel any better, but, you know, huh?
How long?
Well, I think the next fight for Carl Froch, he's 36 years old. He's not, what's he going to do? Go and have a voluntary defence against some, you know, I mean, these are the fights that, you know, at his stage in his career, he's going to want the biggest fights available to him. And the George Groves rematch is the biggest fight available to Carl Froch. You know, so...
Were you concerned about the amount of damage he did take tonight?
Yeah, there were times in the fight where I just, with Carl, it's like, you wonder what drives him, and that was a fight where he took a lot of punishment, and I don't know whether there comes a stage in your life where at 36 you think, look, I've done this, I've done that, what do I want to do next? But, you know, I think he deserves a lot of respect as well, because he come back, he stuck in there. You know, regardless of the ending, I think he was 5 rounds behind on 1 card, 1 round behind on 2 cards. I had George 2 rounds up in the fight, and I felt that he was looking like he was going to go on and win the fight. But Carl took a lot of punishment in the rounds. I mean, he took a lot of clean shots, and it's not, for someone who's been around as long as him, I can't sit here and tell you what he's going to do next, because you know, he deserves more respect. I don't know what he's going to want to do, but all I know is that as a promoter, the biggest fight available to both fighters is the rematch.
Was Carl complaining about a jaw?
I think he might have broken his jaw, I don't know. I mean, he took a lot of punishment. I mean, you know, and I don't know how he's doing. After the shot at him in the first round, if you look it back, I think he was unconscious when he went down, and I think he was unconscious when he stood up. And that's no joke. You watch it back. I mean, you know, watch it back on TV, and George hit him with 50 more shots like that, and he stayed there. And I don't know how he did it. You know, but George was sensational. I mean,
If I knew what was going to happen, then after that first stoppage, I could have jumped in and bomb rushed him, and then hope for the best for the referee to jump in. I know Carl Froch has got a good chin, and I knew his reputation of having a good chin could work against me. I didn't need to unload the tank at any point. I knew keep setting it up, let him make mistakes, let him square up, become more and more predictable, and then I'd land big right hands, and I was doing it consistently throughout the fight. Each time I buzzed him, I didn't want to rush in and try and empty the tank trying to finish him, because that's not what I do. I've tried to do that before in the past, and there's no need for it.
George, do you believe?
Intent on stopping him next time.
I've been intent on doing exactly what I just did. Exactly what I just did. And the fight was finished. I went over to shake his hand, told him to get lost. Later on, he came over and he said, "Oh, I wasn't happy with the things you said in the build-up. Can we be friends?" We're going to have a rematch. You know? I've got respect for the man. I've always had respect for the man. But he's shown me an awful lot of disrespect in the build-up to this fight. And I can happily sit there and just take it on the chin. Because I've got a tiny little team that know it doesn't matter if we're fighting on a rival promoter show, or if I've got a board hearing that I'm not happy with 3 weeks before a fight, or that I've got to train in an amateur gym because there's nowhere else to train. Because all I need to do is to get the work done, show up, get booed in, and I get cheered out.
Do you think you've earned his respect now? And does it matter to you whether you have or
I've
not?
got hit him to get his respect. Yeah.
I think they both know they respect each other. After a fight like that, whether they say so now or not, you know.
I respected Carl Froch when this fight was made. I knew it wouldn't be an easy fight. I respect Carl Froch for getting off the floor in the first round and for continually getting buzzed throughout the fight, and for me to think I don't need to try and finish him now. I'll keep waiting till that punch that puts him away and he's going to get up. I needed complete composure. I've been saying it for weeks. Maybe when I watch it back, the initial shot that caused the sort of exchange that I got stopped in, maybe I didn't have quite enough composure at that point. But I'll make adjustments. I always make adjustments, and I'll make improvements. And I'll be back fitter, stronger, better. This is not the end of me. I've got a loss on my record that I'll never get over. But
you don't feel like the loser, though, do you? In some ways, the way you're talking, you don't feel like the loser. There's a sense with you that you feel like a winner.
You say in the build-up to a fight, you have a serial killer mentality. You don't care about anything. You're emotionless. That's what we'd say to each other on the way up. It's been emotionless. That's it. Now, after the fight, I'm going to go home and cry. I'm going to let it all out. And yeah, you know, before the fight, I don't care if everyone boos me. Everyone says I'm going to get knocked out. if they get. I haven't seen it yet, but in the build-up, Sky had my arch rival James DeGale to play me, and Richie Woodall, who works for Robert McCracken, as the Sky pundits. So, not the fairest crack of the whip, I'd say. Doesn't bother me in the build-up. In the build-up, you've got a job to do. But there's a few things I need to grieve about right now. And I'll spend a little bit of time doing that, and I'll be back in the gym, looking to become world champion. That's it.
Right, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.